Bar 1. Natural food to slow aging. After 60, there's a quiet rhythm that begins to change as we enter our 60s. The body, once always in motion, starts asking for more care, more rest, and above all, better fuel. It's not about weakness. It's nature's way of inviting us to live with more intention. Around this age, our metabolism naturally slows down. Muscles shrink little by little, bones lose density, and the immune system may not respond as quickly as it used to. You may have noticed your digestion feels heavier, your energy dips more often, or your memory takes a little longer to retrieve names and dates. These are not signs of defeat. They are messages. Messages that call for gentler, smarter nourishment. Now, here's something many forget. Aging isn't just about time passing. It's about how our cells respond to time. And that response is deeply connected to inflammation, blood sugar levels, and oxidative stress. Three invisible threads that weave much of the story of aging. The good news? Each of these threads can be softened by what we put on our plate. That's where nature steps in, not with promises of eternal youth, but with powerful, humble foods that work silently, every day, to slow down the inner clock. One of these foods is probably sitting quietly in your pantry right now. No shiny label, no miracle slogan, just honest, golden oats. A friend of the body, especially after 60. And before we move forward, let me ask you something gently. If you're enjoying this conversation and believe health is something worth tending to every day, like a garden, why not subscribe to the channel? That way, you'll always have a seat waiting for you here, whenever we sit down for another story of well-being. Now, let's explore how this modest grain holds the secret to stronger hearts, calmer minds, and a more graceful aging. The power of natural foods, nature's hidden gift. Long before the shelves were filled with colorful boxes and flashy labels, nature already offered everything we needed. Seeds, leaves, roots, each one carrying not just nutrients, but wisdom. After 60, our relationship with food becomes less about indulgence and more about intention. It is no longer just about eating to feel full. It is about choosing what will help us feel strong, steady, and clear. Natural foods, especially whole grains, fruits, and legumes, have something that no factory can replicate: life energy. They're filled with compounds that nourish on a cellular level: flavonoids, soluble fibers, plant-based proteins. These names may sound complicated, but their effects are simple. They calm inflammation, balance sugar levels, protect the heart, and keep our digestion gentle. Now, oats, our star today, are a perfect example. They may look simple, but they're a treasure chest. Full of beta-glucan, a special fiber that helps reduce cholesterol, they support the heart. A quiet hero in our body that works non-stop year after year. Oats also help keep blood sugar in check and support gut health, something that becomes more vital as digestion slows with age. And here as something beautiful. Foods like oats, danite, just prevent illness. They promote vitality. They don't shout for attention. They work quietly every morning in your breakfast bowl, helping your body do what it's meant to do: repair, protect, and thrive. So the next time you look at a simple food and wonder if it's enough, remember this: simplicity is the signature of wisdom. And nature, in her wisdom, made oats exactly as we need them. Meet the champion, the #1 natural food to slow aging. If aging is a long walk, oats are like a trusted walking stick: steady, dependable, and quietly essential. Among all the natural foods that support graceful aging, oats stand out not because they are exotic, but because they are profoundly effective. Simple, yes, but powerful. where it matters most. What makes oats the #1 natural food to slow aging after 60? 3 reasons: balance, protection, and restoration. Balance, because oats help regulate blood sugar. And stable blood sugar means fewer energy crashes, better brain clarity, and protection against type 2 diabetes, which becomes more common as we age. Protection, because oats are rich in antioxidants, especially avenanthramides, unique to oats, that reduce inflammation and protect blood vessels. That's no small feat. Inflammation is often called the silent killer, linked to heart disease, arthritis, and even memory decline. Oats help quiet that fire. Restoration, because oats feed the friendly bacteria in our gut. These tiny allies influence everything from immunity to mood. And in older adults, gut health often declines, impacting nutrient absorption and mental well-being. And here's the beauty of it. Oats are adaptable. Whether you like them warm in a bowl, cold as overnight oats, baked in a muffin, or even blended into a smoothie, they gently become part of your rhythm. They don't ask for much, and in return, they give you a great deal. So yes, there are many foods that support aging well. But when it comes to daily reliability, deep nourishment, and versatility, oats wear the crown, not loudly, but with quiet dignity. Why this food? Ancient wisdom meets modern science. Long before nutrition labels and laboratory studies, there was observation. The wisdom of our elders didn't come from textbooks. It came from watching, feeling, and remembering. In many traditional cultures, oats were known as a food that keeps you going, not just to fill the belly, but to nourish endurance, focus, and resilience. In ancient Scotland and parts of Northern Europe, oats were a daily staple. Farmers and shepherds often began their day with a warm oat porridge, not out of luxury, but necessity. It gave them slow, steady energy for hours of labor in the cold. They didn't know the word beta-glucan, but they knew that oats kept their hearts strong and their bodies regular. Now, science simply confirms what tradition always suspected. Studies show that the beta-glucans in oats not only lower LDL cholesterol, but also help regulate the immune system and support gut health. Avenanthramides, a rare antioxidant found almost exclusively in oats, have been linked to reduced blood pressure and less artery stiffness. What's fascinating is that oats offer all this without needing to be modified, enriched, or processed. They are complete just as they are. That alignment between old-world simplicity and new-world evidence is rare and deeply reassuring. So when you scoop oats into your pot each morning, you're not just feeding your body, you're joining a long, quiet tradition of people who trusted the earth to sustain them, and who lived longer, stronger because of it. How to add it to your routine? Without fuss. The beauty of oats lies not only in their nutrition, but also in their simplicity. You don't need to turn your kitchen into a laboratory to enjoy their benefits. In fact, the less complicated, the better. One of the easiest ways to start is by preparing a warm bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. A small pot, a handful of oats, some water or milk, and a gentle simmer. In 5 minutes, you have a meal that will nourish you until lunchtime. You can sweeten it naturally with a few berries, a slice of banana, or a sprinkle of cinnamon, each adding its own little touch of health. If you prefer cold preparations, overnight oats are a wonderful option. Just place oats in a jar with milk or yogurt, add some nuts or seeds, and leave them in the fridge overnight. By morning, they are soft, creamy, and ready to enjoy. No stove, no rush. Another simple method? Blend oats into your smoothie. A spoonful of raw oats adds fiber and texture, helping to balance blood sugar and keep hunger at bay. For those who enjoy baking, oats can replace part of the flour in homemade muffins, pancakes, or even bread. It's a way to gently enrich your meals without changing your habits too much. The key is not to complicate things. Oats are like a wise old friend. They fit easily into the life you already have, asking little and giving much. Small changes, taken with consistency, create great transformations. It's not about a radical overhaul. It's about building quiet rituals of care. One bowl, one morning, one choice at a time. Now, it is important to be mindful. Even good foods can lose their power if we're not careful with how we choose and use them. That's why in our next chapter we'll explore common mistakes to avoid. When choosing or consuming it, even a food as noble as oats can lose its benefits if we are not attentive. It's not about fear, but about wisdom. Learning to choose with the same care we devote to tending a delicate garden. One common mistake is reaching for instant-flavored oat packets. They may seem convenient, but many are loaded with added sugars, artificial flavors, and preservatives that quietly undo much of the good that oats offer. True vitality lies in the simple, unadorned oats, rolled, steel-cut, or old-fashioned, where nothing but the grain remains. Another frequent slip is underestimating portion size. Oats are powerful, but too much at once can overwhelm digestion, especially as metabolism naturally slows with age. A small bowl, about half a cup of dry oats, is often more than enough to provide steady energy without heaviness. Some also forget about what's added on top. A drizzle of honey, a handful of berries, beautiful choices. But drowning your oats in syrup, cream, or sugary granola turns a health food into a sugar bomb. Always think in terms of balance, a little sweetness to complement, not to overpower. Lastly, hydration is often overlooked. Oats are rich in soluble fiber, which needs water to move smoothly through the digestive system. If you enjoy oats regularly, make sure to drink water throughout the day. It's like giving your garden the rain it needs to bloom. By avoiding these small pitfalls, you preserve the true power of oats. A quiet, steadfast nourishment that supports your heart, your mind, and your gentle walk through time. And speaking of walking through time, our final chapter brings a reflection. How daily choices, even the smallest ones, shape the richness of our future. Small seeds, great harvest. How daily choices shape your future. Aging isn't a decline, it's a deepening, a ripening of the soul, like fruit that has known both sun and storm. And just like in a garden, what we water every day eventually blooms. One bowl of oats won't transform your life overnight, but a bowl every morning, calmly prepared, eaten with presence, accompanied by a breath of gratitude. That is not just a meal. It's a ritual, a message to your body that you are still choosing care over chaos, nourishment over neglect. Our days are shaped less by grand events and more by the quiet habits we repeat. A walk at sunrise, a glass of water before coffee, a mindful breakfast. These are small seeds, and they grow strong roots over time. You see, aging well isn't about chasing youth. It's about strengthening the soil of your life so that peace, strength, and joy can grow, even in the later seasons. So, if you've walked with me through all of these chapters, I invite you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. This garden of stories and health is growing, and there is always room for one more friend around the fire. And tell me in the comments, how do you like your oats? Let's share recipes and rituals, because health grows best when it's shared.